scoping early today. Aria Craig, empowerment and leadership strategist for single moms, blended moms, and divorced moms, and also dads. But my target market is more so for moms. So I am actually scoping live a little bit early today because I normally scope on Tuesdays around 6:15 in the evening for about 20 minutes to a half an hour. But I have an important 2-hour meeting today, and I'm not going to thank you for giving me love. Thank you for pressing those hearts. I appreciate it. But I have a 2-hour business strategy meeting today with my business coach. So I figure on those days, because we meet with her once a month, me and everybody that's in the program once a month, and she normally goes about a good hour and a half, 2 hours, and she's kicking it off at 6:30 today. I think she normally does from 6 to 7 and again from 7 to 8, but she's kicking it off about a half an hour late today. So that kind of cuts into my Periscope time. So on those days, I'm just going to go ahead and scope probably sometime in the afternoon. Hopefully people are on their lunch breaks and they can be able to tune in or just catch the replay later on. But I'm going to be to where I start cutting down my Periscopes about 15 to 20 minutes. So anyway, it was on my heart to talk about something. I had to go downtown today, and I live not far from Chicago. I live in the suburbs, and I went downtown today, and on my ride, I decided to read an excerpt from a book that my friend recommended to me by Daymond called The Power of Broke. And I told myself I need to look at the excerpt first before I get the book, because the way the book is set up is, I think that there are a lot of different authors that are contributing to different chapters in the book, and I think that he's doing the first part of like the introduction to talk about what the book is about and closing it out. So I'm not sure, I don't have the book itself, but when I went to his website, when my friend recommended it, I went to his website, Daymond website, and he had a free excerpt. So I just went ahead and downloaded the free excerpt. I read maybe like a chapter, not really even a chapter, because it's the first chapter anyway. It was like a paragraph, like the first page or something. And I don't know why I did that when I was tired. I did it and fell asleep. So someone told me to just go ahead and read it while I was on the train today. So that's what I did. I read it on the train, and I'm like, man, this resonates with me so much. Oh my gosh. There are 3 things that I learned from that book. The first one is how being broke, when you have people use the word passion so much, and I try not to use the word passion because I think it's overused. And I think some people don't even know what it is. I think they just use it because they hear it so much, they just say it. So it's one of those things where when you're broke, when you're broke and you have this burning desire to move in a certain direction in your life and what you want to do, it kind of puts a fuel under you when you don't have money, because it forces you to make those decisions to make that move. Especially when you're having all the doors closed in your face from the other directions that you've been going in life. Or, say for instance, for me working in corporate America, having doors shut all the time. After I lost my job, and I was like, man, why is it that I can't seem to find another opportunity when I have all this experience that I've gained from this company? I didn't get it. I have a lot of knowledge base, a lot of skills that I can apply and transfer to a different role or the same role at a different company, and I'm just not being considered, and I didn't understand it. So at that point is when I knew I needed to do something else. And a lot of times it forces us to step outside of our comfort zone. So we need to thank you. I appreciate giving me all the loves. We need to step outside of our comfort zone, stop being complacent, and take that risk. Because everybody who goes into a journey of being an entrepreneur, I'm quite sure, I shouldn't say everyone, but I'm going to say most people have a certain fear. So that's right. They have a certain fear of failure. And that's another thing that I learned from this, is that when you make certain moves, you move beyond the failure until you get to the level of success. So you're going to have failures. They're going to come. He mentioned in the book that you can have 31 people tell you no. 30 people tell you no and have that 31st person tell you yes. And that's the person that would matter anyway. Everybody else wouldn't even matter. But you have had the door closed on you so many times to where when you're broke and you really want to succeed, yes, you got to take that leap of faith and just jump. And I think that's something that Steve Harvey said. You just got to jump. So, but when you are at a point to where you can't do anything else, when you are broke and you are really, really strongly committed to this mission and this goal of whatever it is you're trying to do. He mentioned all kinds of things, whether you want to be a chef, you want to go into music, you want to start your own business or do something, whatever it is you want to do. It's like it forces you when you are broke to not focus on those failures, to keep moving until you get to that one person that's going to tell you yes, and they actually listen. And he says it's worth that struggle. It's worth the constantly going through the closed doors to get to the right one that's going to open up for you. He said that he talked about how people who have money, they really don't appreciate it because when they have a problem, all they do is throw money at the problem, just like a Band-Aid. I'm just going to throw money at it to fix it. But when you are building from a certain foundation to where you have a level of integrity and authenticity, and it's just like you put your whole soul in it, you're going to make sure that you do what it takes to make it work. And one of the things that I know for a fact, that when you have people that are starting from scratch, like I didn't have any money and this person didn't have any money, their mission is almost from a place of servitude. It's almost like I have to help you while I'm helping myself because I know what you're going through. I've been there. We're going to help each other, try to lift each other up to get to where we need to be. So that was the second thing I learned, is about the failures, getting past the failures until you get to that success. And then another thing he said, which is probably at the very beginning, he said when you are at the point to where you are starting with nothing, like you are broke, you can just rub 2 nickels together and that's about it. He said you have no choice. With that determination you have to move forward and succeed, you have no choice but to go up. And I really believe that. Like if you are that determined, that motivated, that have that high level of tenacity to where you're saying this has to work because it can't do anything but work at this point. It has to do this. Then it's going to do it eventually, and when it happens, it's going to take flight of its own, and you just have to be prepared for that process. So that's the only thing that I want to make sure I share today. You know, by me being an entrepreneur, I'm crazy busy working on 2 different businesses that I'm actually bootstrapping for myself. Oh, wow. Congratulations. Congratulations for you. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. When you get to those levels where people start coming in and they're saying, I see you. I see your motivation. I see your strength. I see your, I want to say, passion for what you do. You're going to start having all of these opportunities that's going to come, and they're just going to be one after the other. And that's when at the point to where I've heard a few people, when they said when they got to that level, it was almost like it came so fast, I didn't even know how to manage it. Like, okay, like what just happened? Now I got to figure out. And that's when they realize when it's starting to get to a point to where they are being noticed, they need to create a team, because they've been doing it for so long by themselves. And they've gone through the process of hearing no so many times. Then all of a sudden, when people are saying, I see you and I want to book you for this, or I need your expertise in that, and they're getting contracts coming out the woodworks, that's when it's like, okay, because I had one person even tell me I have to stop my business because I don't know what I'm doing. I claimed the last year, and they said, yes, that's how you, and the universe is working. And I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God, and God created the universe. Everything is working together because you had that faith. When I was last week, Sunday after service, I'm part of a group of wives. And what we did was, I'm not really, and I shared this on one of my other periscopes, I'm not really a crafty person, so I'm not really into vision boards. What I do is I write out goal boards, because I'm an author, so I'm writing out what I want, and I'm putting in dates of where I want to achieve it, long-term and short-term goals, and have it starting off at the year 2016. So what we did was we did this vision board, and she had all these little cute crafty things. We painted our boards, all these pretty colors, and she had these cute scissors that when you cut, they cut like these little designs. So we all brought magazines with us. And I knew what I was visioning, what I wanted. And it's funny because even with me saying this and me cutting out pictures, I was still cutting out words. I was looking through pictures, but I was like, I'm looking for specific words. And so it's like, what I do is I cut out words in the pictures. Like, for instance, I'm not a huge fan of Tyra Banks, but Tyra Banks represents beauty to me. She represents timeless beauty. So I cut out a picture of Tyra Banks, and plus she's an entrepreneur and a mogul. So these are people who I aspire to be. Now, I'm not really, like I said, a fan of hers in terms of, her new show, because I don't really get into her show that much. But I like her business strategies. I like her mindset on I'm an entrepreneur and I'm going to have multiple streams of income. So I like that in her. I like Steve Harvey. So there are certain things about Steve Harvey that people don't care about. I'm looking at it from a business perspective. When people are looking at the Real Housewives, I love the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And my husband would say all the time, why are you watching that crappy show with those goofy women fighting all the time? I told him I'm looking past the cattiness and because some of the stuff they do just for entertainment to keep their ratings. But I'm looking at the fact that these are all bosses. They are right. These are all boss Black women. And some of them have 4 and 5 different businesses that they have teams they created and built, and they will create ambassadors and teams to help them get incomes not only for themselves but for their teams while they go sit at home and take care of their puppies. Or take care of their babies, or buy Christian Louboutins, or, whatever. But I like the fact that they all have different ideas, and it's not the same thing like, okay, well, we're going to have a weave shop, and I'm going to have a couture line, because a few of them do have shops, but they have other things that are, more than or outside of the normal realm of what, we see Black women in entertainment in these reality shows doing as entrepreneurs. So I love them for the fact that they are business women, boss business women at that. They all can hold their own very well, very successfully. So that's when I'm looking at them, I'm drawing from that energy as a Black woman who's trying to get to that level and beyond also. So anyway, those are the things that I just wanted to make sure that I reached out on. These things, these little tips and tidbits help to inspire me. I hope they inspire other people down their journey of leadership, whether it be in corporate America or as an entrepreneur, in their homes, taking care of their children, in their relationships, which is what I do. So, thank you. I appreciate it. I thank you for coming aboard. So that's one of the things I just wanted to pop in for my few minutes that I normally do in the evening. This time I'm doing it in the early afternoon to talk about the 3 things that I've learned from The Power of Broke and how I'm going to implement them as an entrepreneur. My very busy schedule with working with the Aria Craig part, with the single moms part, and also the other business that I'm trying to work on with the financial services for attorneys. They're 2 completely separate things, but I can work with them and join them together, because I'm trying to figure out how do I do that without confusing my audience. But because I'm talking about entrepreneurs as single, divorced, and blended moms, which I was a single mom and I'm a blended mom, I could talk about building this particular company up also as an entrepreneur while I'm at the Aria Craig part, while I'm talking talking to groups as the Aria Craig business. So I figured out a way how to join them together, so that's great. But anyway, I thank you all for looking at the. Thank you for visiting me today. Even the replay, when people will turn on the channel later to see the replay. So until next time, I'm going to be doing some Facebook Live stuff later on this week. But today, because I lost time with BookCon a couple of weeks ago and some other things, I need to get moving. Stepdaughter graduated, had all kinds of stuff going on this weekend, so I got to get back in a certain mode right now so I can be successful. So anyway, I love you all very much. Take care, and I'm out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.